Hello guys and welcome to the ProDota Cup series by Smashcast TV. We have the second match between XIAO DIAN and Happy Feet in the only best of 3 of the day for the semifinals, for the losers brackets, for the ProDota Cup series by Smashcast TV. Like I said, right. This is the second match between XIAO DIAN and Happy Feet. The first match goes quite convincingly to Happy Feet, who take it around minute 27 really when the game was over, and just used the what was it, Ursa plus Storm Spirit strategy to counter the Tinker and Bristleback strategy the enemy team had decided for. So Happy Feet content with the first game, looking to win the second one. XIAO DIAN looking to prove themselves in the second game and try to get that tie so they can actually have one last chance of going to the finals. Whoever loses here, by the way, is eliminated. Not in this match specifically, but in this best of 3 is eliminated, so let's have that in mind. And without further ado, let's get right into the draft. My name is DSwordfish. I will be your caster for today. Let's see what the teams are drafting today. We have XIAO DIAN going for the Darkseer, Spirit Breaker, Disruptor, Happy Feet, XIAO, and Abaddon already. So Happy Feet again with the XIAO pick. They seem to be favoring it considerably. Now the Abaddon as well. They like to go for those picks that dominate the lane a bit more, whereas XIAO DIAN looks for more offensive picks. You can see the Darkseer, Spirit Breaker and the dual offlane for XIAO DIAN is very obvious, and together with the Disruptor, maybe even an offensive tri-lane, just because of the fact that they have a lot of killing potential together with the, wow, this is really cool, we'll talk about it in a second, with the Spirit Breaker and the Darkseer, right? The Iron Shell plus the Charge is really easy to use, and then you combine it with, of course, a Glimpse in case anyone escapes, and if you need the vision of someone, you just charge them and then you glimpse them. So it's quite easy. You Disruptor and Spirit Breaker together. However, XIAO DIAN will depend on kills. Spirit Breaker and Disruptor are both decently greedy supports in terms of experience early on, and you can't just get that through stacks. You want to get a couple kills. Darkseer similarly wants to get a bit in lane, and if he does get destroyed by, say, a Razor, for example, or some other carry that Happy Feet might run, then you're a bit screwed over by just picking up a Darkseer because you won't have your Garden Gaze, your Solar Crest, or Blink Dagger, or whatever you want to go for early on. So Happy Feet, what they decide to do is they're going to win the lanes. They're going to not or force the enemy team to go for the lanes, or sorry, go for kills in lanes, or just not rotate at all. And that's what Happy Feet is doing. They know Spirit Breaker and Disruptor are not the best rotators if they don't go for kills. They're not a Warlock, they're not a Trim Protector. They don't want to stay in lane and help out anyone. They don't have the global presence either. So you go for the Razor, force that in the supports rotate, it is to get a kill on the Razor, and even though the Queen of Pain seems like a counter to the Razor, he's actually not. His great amount of magical damage puts the Queen of Pain in a pickle in the middle of the lane because she doesn't really want to use a blink to stop the plasma field, of course. He also has an easy damage steal with the Static Link, which stops Queen of Pain completely in the early game because she can't really last it. And of course, her purge, or his purge, sorry, his unstable current, is one of the most annoying things to fight against if you're playing Queen of Pain because you can't Shadow Strike Razor in lane without suffering heavy damages yourself. Because as soon as you Shadow Strike him, the whole point of this is you use the Static Link, and the Purge only, I mean, honestly, just being level 2, just being level 8 with Razor and getting 2 levels of Unstable Current already makes it so that Shadow Strike destroys the Queen of Pain herself, and if she decides, like I said, to blink away from it, you can just punish that with a Plasma Field. So it depends on how aggressive Queen of Pain is playing. You max Unstable Current, or not necessarily max it, but you get 2 points in it, or alternatively, you just max Plasma Field straight away. Happy Feet, though, do want some sort of aggression. In this case, they're going to pick up the Tusk as their aggression. They already have a good amount of pushing power, the Razor and the XIAO, now combined with the Abaddon, so all they need is a bit of ganking power. Of course, their lanes are already secure, so the whole point here with the Tusk is to be able to push, or, no, sorry, but to be able to attack the middle lane a bit more, and also run a possible dual offlane or tried offlane with the Abaddon, which is very effective, and then you can really crush their enemy carry regardless of what they want to pick. The Weaver would have been really good, by the way. Happy Feet, what are they going to pick with the Razor for XIAO? I mean, the Juggernaut would have been amazing, honestly, especially against this Queen of Pain. The Lifestealer comes to mind as okay, especially because you have the Tusk in, but and against the Disruptor, he's quite alright. Usually want something that can cancel Disruptor. In fact, Lifestealer seems pretty powerful, Happy Feet, right now. If he can still go for Desolator, so it adds to your pushing power, and of course that combines all the Razor and the XIAO. He does have a decent early game. The Rage is really good against Disruptor and against the Queen of Pain. The Shadow Strike is not really a bother to him, only the Sonic Wave by the Queen of Pain, that's not really a big deal. And he can eat up the Darkseer and the Spirit Breaker easily, because they're high HP, low armor. Besides that, trolls or heroes that can go for BKB like Ursa, for example, or even Troll Warlord are also welcome if you're playing them as Happy Feet. Alternatively, just because it's XIAO, I want to suggest something along the lines of a Naga Siren, because it could be a possibility together with the Razor, again, lane domination, but probably not going to be the case. Lifestealer seems like the best option here. You can also go for the Luna, which is alright, especially considering when the enemy team is running. You actually have a lot of ways to stop it. But the Luna, like I said, no integrated BKB, so of course Lifestealer would have been best. Ember Spirit is the choice they make. So it's going to be Razor carry, Ember Spirit in the mid lane. Interesting, so they don't want to run the Razor against the Queen of Pain. Ember Spirit is not going to have an easy time against Queen of Pain in general, but in the early game he should be okay, especially with some rotations by the Jakiro and the Tusk. And the Jakiro can secure you a pretty decent mid lane. Now, what is the carry for XIAO DIAN themselves? They need a carry for speed draw, and against the Razor and Ember Spirit has to do well, so preferably not a melee carry. In fact, Luna... No, okay, anti-mage is what they pick. Okay, like I said, preferably not a melee carry. They started his game. Okay. The anti-mage has interesting carries. He is stronger than most other carries than against Razor because, of course, he has always the extra damage of the mana steal, which is always going to happen regardless of Razor stealing your damage or not. So that's a good way to stop the Razor static link, and he can easily dispel a static link with the blink. So that is not bad for the anti-mage himself. And the Razor's mana pool is quite decent, so being able to take it away and then use your ultimate on him is effective. With that said, the whole point of Happy Feet's strategy is to dominate in the early game. If anti-mage has a bad lane because they dual off-lane him, or even worse because they actually try to attack him and kill him, they can have a really hard time. I'm gonna have a really hard time coming this early game because the anti-mage won't have the space in the required to farm. And of course, I don't know if you've seen this, but a Razor fighting in the early game in a 5 versus 4 engagement or that kind of thing where he's obviously in the 4 team, he's gonna destroy everyone because he's ridiculously tanky because of his natural agility and strength game being quite decent. I think it's 2.2 and 2.4. No, 2.6 and 2.0. I don't know why I thought 2.2, 2.4. That's actually a bristleback. It's 2.0 and 2.6, which is a decent amount of agility per level. But 2.0 is okay. I mean, it's not ideal, but you don't go for carry anyway. And the more important part, a really good amount of HP per level. 2.6 makes you quite tanky, and it still gives you decent amount of armor, so it means that you last the mid game pretty well. And when you steal a lot of damage from the enemy team, then you're gonna start doing a lot of powerful attacks. And if the enemy team is fighting you against 5 versus 4, then you're actually in a difficult position. Yeah, and careful because he's suffering a lot against this damage from the Abaddon. That is a lot of damage from the Curse of Avernus. In comes Ben-Hur as well. They have Searing Chains. They should be able to get the skill, honestly, because Dian is not fast enough to actually outrun in Abaddon right now, especially with the Curse of Avernus. Jules is joining in as I'm gonna die, and Ben-Hur will be given the first blood here by Happy Feet. This is really clever, giving him the advantage of the first blood, even though he wasn't even participating in it. He gets a bit of experience. They also get some assist gold and whatnot, which is not too bad, I think. Yeah, actually, no, they get nothing. But the first blood gold only goes to the killer, so that means that the Ember Spirit in this case will have a 300 gold advantage over the Queen of Pain early on, allowing him to get early boots or early bottle depending on how he sees the matchup, which is a pretty good idea. Right, before they keep... Is that a pin? Okay, never mind. That's a dinosaur. Before they start hitting each other, let's continue with... Let's start with the presentation of the teams. My name is DSwordfish. I'm going to be your caster for today. Hope you enjoy the cast. And Happy Feet will be playing the Radiant side, while XIAO DIAN will play the Dire side. Let's see what we have on the Radiant side, right? Jesse Vash is on the Jakiro in the support position. In the mid lane, we have an Ember Spirit played by Ben-Hur. As the carry is Jael, running at a Razor. And the second support position, Jules, will be accompanying an off-lane Abaddon played by Yaj in this top lane. Now, for XIAO DIAN, the Singaporean team, we have Dian on the Spirit Breaker in the support position. In the off-lane, a Darkseer played by Love It. In the middle lane, a Queen of Pain played by Gentleman, as they carry an anti-mage played by Speed Draw. And finally, on the Disruptor in that support position, a Jaeger. We'll be running him in this iteration. And look at the deny game go. That middle lane, yeah, I'm glad they rotated the Tusk. In fact, I think the Jakiro is better for rotation in the top or in the middle lane, and leave Tusk down bottom with the Ice Shards to force the Darkseer into a difficult position, especially because Ice Shards plus the Static Link is very powerful. Whereas I don't really trust the Jakiro in terms of damage. And you don't really want to leave the Abaddon alone either, so to be honest. In fact, you can even leave the Razor alone and go top and help the Abaddon a bit, because you don't want Speed Draw to be able to farm well, and of course Yaj cannot feel deaths. But I think this might be the first Fed death. Yeah, I mean, he's eating his tango. About TP. Might be able to escape alive. No, one more attack got to do the trick. Jaeger sees him. Jaeger sees him. The poor man's shield is actually helping Yash considerably. Continues to eat trees. Wants to go into further inside the jungle. Still has that poor man's shield. Is not healing up as much as he used to be. Actually, does not have enough mana for the TP. So he's maybe not okay. He's made himself a house in the trees. He doesn't want to fight Jaeger. Jaeger is joining in and says, "Hey Yash, how you doing?" Let's get that kill finally. Finally. XIAO DIAN finds Jaeger or Yash in the trees and actually finishes him off. That's unfortunate for Happy Feet, but they did get the first one anyway. And losing Abaddon is not that big a deal. So people are really believing in XIAO DIAN. They could do this, honestly. They win the second game and they just proceed to a third game. That's an easy win for them. Well, wait, in the middle lane. Ben-Hur. Being a bit harassed by Gentleman. Luckily, not going to be caught out. In the top lane, that's actually the objective. Jules gets a kill on Jaeger and then walks away with a haste room. Sorry, I didn't see that. He just came in with a haste. I think he used his combo of snowball plus shards and then just got the kill. Walked away. Nothing much he could have done, I suppose, because once you hit him with a stun and with like a Lynch Disruptor, it's kind of weak. I do like his XIAO has been left alone completely in spot play. He's also decided to go for what I prefer to build for, which is a Razor that just has to not only max static link, but also get early level unstable current just for the extra movement speed. And that Purge, which is so very useful against enemy teams. Honestly, 0.5 second Purge, not that great. It does makes you think twice before attacking him with the target spell. But 1 second Purge is fantastic. Right. DIAN, they don't have vision of him here, but the Abaddon wants to get vision anyway. They have a snowball and an aphotic shield. Seems like a difficult thing to go on, though. DIAN is just biding his time right now. He knows that the snowball could be really effective. Jesse Vash is actually joining him in. And there's the Ice Shard. Stops DIAN, but DIAN gives the charge in time. Is going to survive completely. With the help of Jesse Vash, he could have gotten a kill. But instead, Gentleman's going to be getting this kill in the middle lane. Against the Ember Spirit. Who actually tries to evade that kill off the Queen of Pain. But played a bit too aggressively. And got punished as a result. Really strong liquid fire here in the top lane. Jules actually gets a kill onto Gentleman in the middle one, but speed draw. Why do I keep going to the top lane while all the action is happening in the middle one? Actually, he just came in with a snowball. Jules stay there. Sorry. Oh, in the top lane. Now they actually are going to the Abaddon. 17% chance. Yash is not too lucky. Thunderstrike is giving them vision of him. So it's an easy kill onto him. And Yash will just end up dying to the damage Jaeger's putting out in the top lane. Right. Like I said, oh, Ben-Hur misses the killer. Like I said, the middle lane, Gentleman just stayed there for quite a long time with low HP, and Tusk came in with a snowball. Not really that big of a kill. And the top lane is a bit more interesting. I mean, this top lane is really important because Speed Draw is winning in terms of lasts. I mean, he is lasting as much as Razor is, even more than he is, which is surprising considering you are an anti-mage. He is winning in terms of net worth himself, so you don't really want to let this guy snowball. In fact, XIAO should be doing much better in lane than he is currently. That's mainly because of his lack of phase boots, because he can't last it as well. And of course, the fact that these off-laners have not been putting too much pressure onto the anti-mage, or not enough, not as much as they would like. They want to kill him, and instead they're just killing the supports because they're much easier. And Ben-Hur, of course, can't really rotate because the Queen of Pain is already a pain in the ass in this middle lane, so you don't really want to have to deal with an anti-mage as well. But you need that. And now the Jakiro is finally coming up top because they need the Jakiro to help up top instead of in the middle lane, because screw the Ember. He has to learn to fend for himself. You need the Jakiro up top. And the Tusk himself also needs to join in the top lane, but the Ice Shards don't really do much against the anti-mage, and that is the big issue. Since the Ice Shards don't really do much against the anti-mage, and he's put in a difficult position where he's like, well, I can only snowball at him. Should I even bother going in? Aphotic Shield available. They can't take it off just yet. Kinetic Field already used, so that's the Abaddon dead for sure. He's out of mana, but that doesn't really matter. Speed draw. He deals enough damage himself to just get that kill with his bare hands without the usage of any abilities. And that's a bit more net worth for an anti-mage that's going to start snowballing out of control. Seems like XIAO DIAN are going to have a pretty easy game this time. This top lane, very careful. Because speed draw and being harassed by Yash, you know. I would hope to see Happy Feet do a bit more coming to mid game, honestly. Or maybe, I don't know when the peak is here against an anti-mage. You really don't want to let him do this for too long. Though, that's certain. In fact, if speed draw realizes what they're letting him do, which is be the top farmer in the game with a decent GPM, I suppose. You can just go for treads, or sorry, skip treads altogether and go for Battle Fury straight up. But now that I realize it might be just be the SCA illusion where you think this guy is farming, but in fact he's not farming that much because his government is, again, below 400. Yeah, granted, it's so early in the game, but still below 400. He's got treads, essentially, plus a Ring of Health at minute 4, which is, or minute 6, which is not that great. And even though he's gotten a couple kills, oh, careful, because he might be the next kill. Ice Shards, stick him down, and Jesse Vash just needs an Ice Bath, but of course they don't have it. The Snowball comes in, Jayo's joining in, Speed Draw, good kinetic field though. Liquid Fire, sorry, the Dual Breath is going to hit him, and now start taking away some damage from Dian. He comes Sonic Wave, Gentleman wants to 5, Josh doesn't have his ultimate yet, they have to use the Phonic Shield in time, and Gentleman's going to be fighting alone against Razor. She's lost all her mana, and the Razor with 150 damage stolen is able to get that kill on the Queen of Pain. Kill support on offlaner for a kill on the Queen of Pain, in addition to some space created mid. That is kind of worth it, honestly. I would say if you are Happy Feet. The only weird thing is the Razor didn't play a bit more aggressively there, trying to get a kill on Jaeger. 2 attacks, he would have just finished him off. Oh, the Snowball could have actually killed Jaeger himself. But 2 attacks to the static link stolen damage, and he would just killed him off. But instead, he decided to just leave him be. Oh, another great part about Razor, by the way, or getting the unstable current early, is the fact that you can actually, essentially when the enemy team is charging you. So, which is worth it. Razor himself is going to go for treads over the face. Really, treads over the face. He's going to go for more of a stats Razor. I can only imagine this Razor's going to go for the static link and the Dragon Lance kind of thing. Or sorry, not a static link, the Dragon Lance. I don't know what I'm saying. The extra cast range and the Dragon Lance, or at least just the Dragon Lance Hurricane Pike build at the very least. Just because in this game as well against an anti-mage, it's not a bad idea, but because you're forcing him, he doesn't like blocking, anti-mage just likes blinking, so you're going to force him, if anything, an offensive point to get to you with a Hurricane Pike. So that's not bad at all. And if he just uses Blink, then you really crush him. Ben-Hur, careful, because he could be searching out Love It, but Love It is playing, or Love H is playing pretty defensive here, knowing exactly what he has to do. Now, in comes the charge. Ben-Hur, he can still escape with a Remnant. He should be okay. The Surge, though, is helping Dian out, and he's going to find out the Ember Spirit. It tries to evade the Shadow Strike, fails to do so. 17%. Dian's not getting the stun. Finally, the stun is available, but the Remnant will save this Ember Spirit's life. Second charge, they need to help him somehow. The Snowball comes in, and they do root him in time, but Gentleman will jump in. And Scream of Pain, the poor Ember Spirit, finishing him off. So in the end, the Queen of Pain gets that kill against the Ember, and Happy Feet are not too happy about this. Careful, by the way, Jaeger. He's been Ice Sharded. Yeah, probably not going to help too much. Okay, another Ice Shards. They don't really want to go on to Gentleman. They keep harassing him and everything, using Dual Breath and whatnot, but I think he only got, he only got hit by the Ice Dual Breath on the Fire one, so that wasn't really that relevant. However, the tower's going to go down anyway. That's part of the Happy Feet lineup. That's what they're trying to do. Create a lot of pressure by taking towers and taking away the enemy team's control structures and vision and TP structures early. That's very important, being able to take away the places where they can TP, because of course the anti-mage really suffers from that. The less control you have over the map, the easier an anti-mage is to hunt out, because he'll have, first of all, less lanes to go through to, just get this farm, and second of all, his jungle will start to become threatened, especially once you take this tower and this tower, which are both taken down now. This tier 2 would be ideal if you can take it on early, but of course, if you can't, just go for the tier 3, tier 1s is fine, because you also want to take away this jungle from the anti-mage, right? Which is a pretty valuable one, actually. So taking away, like I said, these bottom towers are also pretty important, just because of the vision that it gives you. In that regard, you can also take out these two, and let's create this special triangle. These three create like a weird triangle of defense, more aimed towards this lane, and the bottom lane is actually pretty defended. Once you take the first tier 1, it's much easier to go into the jungle. And now, this tower should go down easy, honestly, for Happy Feet. I mean, they have the Liquid Fire, which is all that matters, and to some degree, I guess you have the Curse of Avernus as well. The Jakiro is very low level, though. I actually noticed level 4 for both her Actually, both supports in the enemy team are level 4 because they haven't been able to get many kills. Spirit Breaker, unfortunately, is just standing here without another strike, so he can't really go for solo kills either. He wants solo kills, but you know, he doesn't have really that power of initiation that you expect from a Spirit Breaker. He only has a Charge of Darkness, and that charge is actually going to go to cancel a TP. Fails to do so. Yash is TP top instead. And Jaeger could go on him, but of course there's no TP, like I said, there's no structure to DP to. So you actually can't teleport easily, and in fact they have to TP up to the tier 2 town, which Josh does not care that much about, because if they're going to go for him from there, then well, this one is kind of accepted. Oh, careful, love it. Harassed by Ben-Hur slightly. There's the 3 remnants, but he has the Searing Chain as well to stop him in place. The Surge is not going to help at all. In the middle lane of Tusk is just fighting against Speed Drop, maybe just annoying him. Dian still goes for the charge, catches the Jakiro. Jay wants to fight this. There's Liquid Fire. Jakiro starts to steal some of that damage, but he only steals 31. He has to fight Gentleman alone. I don't think that's what they're looking for. In fact, he goes down in the end. The poor Razor to the damage of Sonic Wave from the Gentleman. And Happy Feet will be losing their mid there for the price of an offlaner. Definitely not what they wanted. Of course, at the beginning, they do save their... Oh, no, not their mid, their carry, sorry. They do save their mid in the beginning, the Ember Spirit, by, you know, killing off the offlaner, enemy offlaner, but now they just lose their carry for no reason. Dian has another strike. No, they only level 4, so he's still having a hard time. No Ice Path, Dual Breath still available. Using it onto the end. Jules joins in. There's a snowball, a Walrus Punch as well, and the Glimpse won't help in time. They already get the kill onto the Spirit Breaker, and Jakiro will actually survive against the incursion that is doing the Queen of Pain currently. Oh, there's the first remnant, finds Jaeger, Static Storm, perfect trap, and the Ember Spirit can't go anywhere. That's what you get for walking with remnants, and the Storm Spirit, or the Disruptor cancels him completely with the Static Storm, rendering him useless, and finished off eventually by the Queen of Pain, who also came with a double damage room, by the way. So now, the 2 top heroes in terms of net worth for the charts are currently from XIAO DIAN. If it wasn't because the Tusk is doing so well, the supports here are creating quite a difference, and it would be, yeah, much worse for. Oh, great job, J.O. practices this and actually catches her out right in time. Static Link, goal 84. Ice Shards to put her in the right place. Gentleman can't even blink in time. I mean, he could have just turned Intelligence and blinked because he didn't have enough mana, I think. But of course, not with J.O. being around. Static Link stole 136 damage there. He actually maxed Plasma Field just so he can actually far a bit faster, I can only imagine. It's not a bad idea. Here in the mid lane, by the way, the Ember lost all his mana. He can't actually fight against the enemy properly. There goes the Mana Void, but of course, with the Flame Guard, it deals 0 damage. Love A, not Love H. He's technically Love H, actually. Fun fact. Not just Love A. It's technically Love H. I know because they made fun of him. I think is... Do they still have it? No, they used to have someone that was making fun of him. I forgot who it was. Oh, there it is. He puts himself as Love H as a joke, I can only imagine, but he is still supposed to be pronounced that way. So I do say Love A because I'm just very used to that, Love A. But I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Love H just because of the fact that he spells it that way. And there's no other reason. I mean, what else could you be possibly referencing with Love H? Anyway. The headdress and the mechanism gonna be coming on the Tusk. I think that's a bit weighty of an item. The blade mill on the Razor, okay. The lineup that these guys from Happy Feet are going for doesn't seem too angled. It doesn't seem like they have a plan here too much. Frankly, they're not really pushing or utilizing the Ember's Veil Discord early on. Seems like a weird build to go for Trial Boots first when you know that your late game is not as powerful as the enemy teams by a long shot. Not really canceling the anti-mage's farm, and you're also doing this where, okay, Ben-Hur's dead. They see him, Ben-Hur's dead. There's just no way he survives this. Oh, okay. Never mind, he had a remnant. I don't know why I thought he didn't have a remnant. Good job, okay. If they play like that, that's fine, but the point is they have to start taking more towers, and right now they're really not. The Aghanim, for example, here, instead of a Blade Mill, might have been much better than for the Razors, because, of course, the Liquid Fire is strong, but you don't really have much of other pushing power, and you going for the Blade Mill is not really going to help you guys. It only really helps against the Queen of Pain, because she's the burst damage dealer for this team. That's pretty much it. And yeah, granted, that's the only thing you don't really counter, the Queen of Pain, so that's not bad. It's not a bad item in general. But of course, you were looking for a bit more of a snowball potential here because the anti-mage is going to start being quite scary. I mean, it's 15 minutes in and he's gone. No, he's against Battle Fury right now, but it's within decent timing, which is surprising. It's not actually that fast of a timing. which benefits Razor considerably, but still. You get the idea that you do want to go for that early game push, either with the Aghanims, or alternatively the Razor can just go for, say, the Sanjin Yasha or Dragonlance for those kind of stat items that can allow him to fight in early. The Blade Mill allows him to fight early, but this doesn't really do much against most of the enemies cast, so it's not really that big a deal, honestly. The armor, the extra armor and intelligence it gives you is not bad, though. I mean, this tower will fall down at least with the power of Happy Feet, which is good. There's a charge from the Spirit Breaker. I did not see where he went. He actually decided to go down bottom, finding Ben-Hur. Seems like a hard kill into Ben-Hur, though, because even though he does not remnants on, yeah, he should be... Yeah, he's perfectly fine. There's no way that anyone can TP to him through here and then eventually reach him in time for the charge to get him at around the same time. So they're just going to lose track of Ben-Hur. Gentleman, meanwhile, decides to blink into the enemy lanes, go behind the tier 1 tower for some strange reason. Maybe this is a super sneak attack from the planning. Of course, with JO's Blade Mill, it's a bit hard to really attack him right now. Like I said, it's quite a good counter to the Queen of Pain. And the Ember Spirit himself is going for a Yule Scepter, which I can only imagine is to stop a possible Aura Cape from the Queen of Pain, which is not going to be coming out anytime soon. Then the Yule Scepter stops a possible vacuum, maybe? The Mana Void? The Glimpse also. Okay, the Glimpse, I can see the Glimpse. Love is correct pronunciation. Okay. All right, that makes it much easier. I mean, that's not what I've been calling him, but yeah, if you're so sure. I mean, the first time I see this guy is on XIAO DIAN, so I can't really. I don't know what teams he used to play in, to be honest. XIAO DIAN does have a really good draft. I mean, the draft is pretty strong. I see where they were going with it perfectly. Their execution is leaving much to be desired. Mainly because they're giving a lot of space to Happy Feet, a team who wants to take towers, and they're just letting them take the tower. It's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Even though you do have a better team fight with a Sonic Wave and Vacuum. Sure, the enemy team might have a Snowball, and they might have a Macropyre and a Razor, but you can still fight in there early, because the anti-mage... This is the issue, right, which is something Happy Feet was very smart about, which is they know that the Razor can fight 4 versus 5 easily. Imagine fighting a 5 versus 4 with a Razor in your team. You're just going to win that engagement no matter what. That's why I also wait for Blade Mill, I can only imagine. But of course, XIAO DIAN falls into this trap because they can't really do much more. Okay, I think they cancel that because they know the Ember can just leave. But they know they can't do much more here with the lineup they have. They have to get some farm on the anti-mage. They have to get some farm on the Queen of Pain herself, because without a Yule Scepter, she's actually quite vulnerable to the Ice Path possibility, for example, or even the Searing Chain, so stops her blink completely. And that makes XIAO DIAN a team that's quite vulnerable right now, so they don't really want to fight 5 versus 4, which is what they would ideally do, so to get some farm on the anti-mage. And of course, in exchange, they're losing towers. So now Happy Feet can capitalize this early game advantage they got with objectives and actually do something with it, as opposed to what they're doing right now, which is just farming passively. And then they can win the game easily, and they can take a 2-0 against XIAO DIAN and be pretty happy about it. But what it's looking like right now, though, it seems like XIAO DIAN was just going to recover in the late game once Happy Feet stop farming and realize that their farm is not that impressive, and they're not going to be able to fight as well. Because, again, Vacuum plus Wall Replica plus Sonic Wave, there's no way you can really beat that. Yeah, if you want to know, casters, by the way, ZCXCXCX, we call it execution rather than playstyle, right? The playstyle necessarily is not bad. The way they're playing is actually quite smart. And XIAO DIAN, they're doing what they can with the draft, but of course the execution sometimes, like this one for example, why is the enemy going to die here? Speed draw, actually going to survive in time, but JO is going to ensure Jaeger does not. He steals a lot of damage and kills him with just 3 hits. Getting a bit of healing from Yaja's Morb. Ooh, this is really good. Usually don't want Morbid Mask on a Razor because he doesn't always deal that much damage. He did go for the 15 agility, of course. He doesn't really deal that much damage himself consistently, so the Morbid Mask is a dead item on you like half the team fight, mainly when you don't have a static link on, or when the static link is just charging up. So Morbid Mask is alright, is not the best of items, but it's a consideration certainly because it heals you up so much. However, if you do go for the Vlads and someone else in your team, 10% of your damage is already a lot. That's how much you heal if you are ranged. 10% of your damage in this situation, for example, would be 17 or so every time you hit someone. That's not bad. A heal of 17 every time you hit someone is pretty good, especially with static link damage increasing your damage by a ridiculous amount, and of course that Aphotic Shield, that Solar Crest can also increase your damage by a lot once the Solar Crest comes up on the Abaddon. Now this Roshan is a very important pickup for them. I don't know if they came with cheats. I think it was the first Roshan of the game. Yeah, so it did not come with cheats. But why is it such an important pickup for them? Well, it is a Roshan that another objective once they've taken all tier 2s, and it's just the next logical steps to taking tier 3s, which is something Happy Feet is doing very well. It's going step by step trying to take those tier 2s, tier 1s, and then eventually now go on to tier 3s, using an Aegis to aid them in the team fight. That helps them out greatly, even though they're up against a stronger team fight than a, like I said, 5 versus 5 scenario. They are currently still against an anti-mage that doesn't have a Manta style, so he doesn't have the burst of damage that Manta style usually gives him. In fact, in the bottom lane, Ember Spirit is going to go down. Great Embers. Sorry, Great Eagle Scepter. I meant not Embers, but that doesn't save him. In the mid lane, they try to go on this tower. They do have the dual Liquid Fire, sorry, and the Macro Part, and the Static Link of the Aegis, so they do have a lot of zone as well. I think tier 3 first, gentlemen, careful, you don't really want to initiate, the Ember Spray might not be here, but oh, careful, what is happening here? Jules just goes in with a snowball alone, and they stun him out and easily kill him with a Veil of Discord. No, Mechanism plus Macro Power, the Shrine is activated, but doesn't really do much. Sonic Wave Hunting kills him off, but Speed Draw actually goes down to XIAO, who brings him down with only 49 damage Slowland, and he's glimpsed back into the kinetic field, but what does that matter? Gentleman can't really do much against him. XIAO's way too tanky. Dian comes in with a charge, actually stuns out the Jakiro, but XIAO, all he wants to do is kill some damage, and he's going to start doing so with Love It. Instead, he decides to go for Jaeger, who's been surged up. He stole only 98 damage. What am I saying? Only a ridiculous amount of 98 damage, and now the Amber finally joins to take down the Rax. They root another Queen of Pain, and she's taking a lot of damage to the Plaza Field herself, has to ult herself up if not careful. And XIAO will be taking these melee racks now, deciding to go for more. He does have an Aegis after all, but without any stolen damage, a bit hard to play this. XIAO gonna be glimpsed back. I don't think this is the best of options. Plaza Field is gonna destroy the Disruptor in the end, and the Spirit Breaker loses a lot of damage to the Razor. 133 damage lost. XIAO now can continue fighting, or maybe even take the Shrines instead. I mean, he could just continue taking the tier 3s, but of course, against an anti-mage, it's still a bit dubious if you want to fight them, because you can't take away the damage from the anti-mage just yet. And even though he doesn't have his Manta style just yet, you don't want to give him the option of acquiring that item. That's why you want Yoster, by the way. So you can fight these initiations. Dian finds just special another strike. Don't really want to fight this though. They're going to take away all his damage. He's going to try to TP away. No time, because the Razor deals way too much physical damage right now. And with this, XIAO actually makes a decent push in the bottom lane. They're missing a Jakiro, but the enemy team is missing a Spirit Breaker. Who is a more important initiator right now? I'll tell you, the Spirit Breaker, and XIAO the Solo Crest. And again, the Aegis is more than ready to push this, but tries to go on to Love It. Of course, doesn't want to kill him actually, or doesn't want to deal damage from him, because he doesn't actually have enough damage. Gentleman, though, could die to the damage XIAO's putting out. That was a great blade mail usage to just finish off the Queen of Pain. Meanwhile, from behind, the Disruptor's going to go down to Ben-Hur. They have no Static Storm for 29 seconds. It's very important, and Ben-Hur is now deciding to go into the Dark Sphere. They steal a lot of health, a lot of HP as well. That's the Static Link for you, my friends, as Gentleman almost goes down to XIAO's damage. Jules himself has to use Solar Crest on... Oh, they have to use the Solar Crest on him, the Abaddon, thank you, just to help him out against the Anti-Mage. But for now, XIAO it's decided that these barracks are the time, or it's time to take these barracks down. The vacuum's available, maybe not the wall replica, more importantly, not the Static Storm. In they go. Beautiful vacuum with wall replica. Now they get it. The Ice Path, though, stop side starting his movements. It's rooted completely and destroyed by the Remnants. Love It in the back. That's also nice to XIAO's damage. And now XIAO following through. Wanted to kill Gentleman. Not going to acquire that kill, but certainly getting the racks down, because he's going to find out a poor Disruptor who uses a Static Storm before he dies and sacrifices the possibilities of winning that his team had down from 20% to 10%, as they now only have a Queen of Pain and Spirit Breaker alive, and everyone else is in the sidelines. XIAO, even though he has no damage stolen, he has a Santin Yasha and a lot of healing from Yash, so he should be perfectly fine to steal this tower. In the bottom lane, the poor Tusker is about to die. Jules, though, helped by the Ember Spray, who comes in with the Travel Boots. Jules could go down, but the root actually helps him considerably. Where's the damage, says Ben-Hur. Oh, there it is. There it was. Kills the Tusk. But in the meantime, Happy Feet has taken all these racks down. The Mega Creeps are available for them now. It's only one range racks left, and they're going to take it. Happy Feet do not stop and look. They take objectives and they walk away. That's the way to play like a man. XIAO wants to fight this. Goes against Jaeger. Actually deals a lot of damage thanks to the Static Link. He again still has the Aegis, but it's going to be reclaimed in just 20 seconds. So he wants to fight as best he can. XIAO go on to Love It. Good kinetic field. Plus plus the vacuum to stop him in place. But Love It almost going down to XIAO's damage. He's so lucky with the steals. And the Mississari up in high ground. And there's the Aegis pop. XIAO has to play a bit more defensively now. They use a kinetic field to zone him out. And he has to go through the weird ways. He buys a Shadow Blade straight from the Street Kid shop, or from the home shop, I suppose, in a fountain. and escapes safely. Whereas DSwordfish won't have the same fate, but he is going to go down for the greatness of the Mega Creeps that his team just acquired. And yes, you have an anti-mage, but the anti-mage, I assure you, is not strong enough to stop Mega Creeps at minute 25. It's way too soon for Mega Creeps to come out. And of course, XIAO DIAN will fight till the end, but this is a hard game for them. They have to fight to the end, mainly because if they don't, they will be out of this tournament anyway, so they might as well try. But of course, against Mega Creeps, you're going to have a really hard time. And now, careful. Ember Spirit. He's been Yule centered up. No. Actually, they can't really do much. Vacuum, good in the ice shots, but in the end, it's actually the Queen of Pages suffering against an Ember Spirit who's destroying him. Now the help from JO as well. He stole only 48 damage, but I think it's enough. They're going to find DIAN. The GG, well played, will come out from XIAO DIAN. And they rescind their invitation to this tournament, accepting that it's going to be Happy Feet to make it to the to the finals for the losers brackets, getting the chance to fight against Clutch Gamers for the chance to go up against MVP Revolution. That said, guys, that's the best of 3 for today. Hope you've enjoyed the best of 3. It was a great job by Happy Feet. If you do want to watch it again, feel free to check out my YouTube channel, which is linked in my Twitter, which is at DSwordfish. If you did enjoy the cast, of course, there are all the replays between Happy Feet and XIAO DIAN, and of course, all the other games in this tournament. So feel free to check them out. They're in full HD for 180p, 60 FPS. So, you know, it's a pleasure to have you guys there. That said, if you did enjoy the cast, feel free to like me on Twitter. If you did not enjoy the cast, feel free to tell me so in the comments, because I'm always looking for ways to improve. And that said, guys, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you guys soon with some more games for the ProDota SEA Cup. Don't forget to stay beautiful.